I like to believe that every problem that I face has been faced by somebody else, and that these common struggles and problems can bring us closer together. I recently ended my first relationship. We met during the summer after my first year of university, and we just clicked. It was love at first.
Shut up with that corny
You know how it goes. You meet somebody, you can't stop talking to them, feelings develop, and one day, one of you guys confess. They share that same feeling, and for a brief moment, everything's perfect. They're perfect in your eyes, you're perfect in theirs. If you let that relationship nurture, it can eventually find its way to love.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
The thrill of entering a new relationship, especially my first, is paralleled by a stark depression of leaving one. The thought of a breakup seems absurd at first, but the more you get to think about it, the more it makes sense. You know, they know it's what's for the best, but it doesn't make it any easier to do. But you've done it. You say your last words to each other, and you go your separate ways. Your once partner in crime turns to a stranger in an instant. What now? The aimlessness I felt during the first few days after the breakup can't be exaggerated. I couldn't commit to focusing on anything even when the stakes were high, and by that I just mean it was final season, perfect timing. I cried, I moped, I got angry, I got silent. I knew things would get better. That's what everybody says, but how? When? I can't really walk this feeling off like in a day. Is there anything I can do to distract myself from the constant thoughts of her? Everybody has vices, and when life gets a bit tougher, we like to stick to them. For me, it was my phone. And what I would do is I would create TikToks. I used to make TikToks because it was a good study break, and it helped me escape reality just for a little bit, and it worked. But it was a band-aid solution. Social media like YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Netflix, this tsunami wave of content was just a click away, and it let me feel okay, just for a moment. And in the pursuit of wanting to, be a better version of myself, because I didn't like the way I was living, I decided enough's enough, I want to change. And I followed through. It was December 7th when I forced myself just to sit down, away from all the distractions, no TV, no phone. And it was only then when a wave of fatigue hit me. The self-inflicted pressure of always being happy in a relationship and always being at 100% when you're with them really takes a toll on you. But it's not the most obvious, even though it seems so. In these kinds of moments, these instances of reflection, the mind can go in a positive direction or a negative one. Let's start with the kind. I realized that although I did genuinely care about my partner a lot, I spread myself too thinly. I catch myself not being able to spend as much time with her as I once did, and even when I can, the other stresses in my life prevent me from being truly present. They say that someone who truly cares about you will make the time, and I personally have to disagree with that. Not because it's wrong, but I don't think it tells the whole story. I realize now that I wasn't ready for a relationship, mainly because I didn't know how to balance the important things in my life yet. Your friendships, your grades, your relationship with yourself. These are all really important aspects to my life that I didn't know how to juggle at the same time. And in my opinion, you need to have that 99% on lock before you get into a committed serious relationship. Unfortunately, I just wasn't there yet. And it wouldn't be fair for me or to her if I were to drag her along this relationship that I'm not ready for. This breakup made me realize what it truly meant for me to work on myself. Like in high school, the only thing I thought of working on myself was gonna get jacked. Gotta look like Michael B. Jordan. Gotta look like Captain America. That's the tip of the iceberg. I learned my own shortcomings from this experience. But inevitably, breakups will also lead you to much darker thoughts. Feelings of inadequacy, incompetence, and some of the questions that kept rising up was, Did I make the wrong decision? Was there anything I could have done differently to save this? Is this entirely my fault? Am I wrong? Confidence gets shattered in irregular intervals. Sometimes it's hard to come back from that. I thought about her. I thought about what she was doing without me. I thought about who she was doing without me. I imagined what she would say if she were right next to me, like she once was. Some days, I'm able to go without thinking of her. Other days, she's the only thing on my mind. But things start to get better the moment you decide it does. Being too focused on what life should be rather than what it is blinds you from what's really happening in real time. It's cheesy to say, but being present in a moment is one of the hardest, simplest tasks that I personally want to practice. Focusing on what life currently is, away from being bitter from the past and the anxiousness of the future, is a skill, and it takes time to build. This might not be what moving on feels like for all of you. I'm not trying to impose that. But for me, moving on is when you're finally able to be present. It doesn't mean that you forget them completely. I'm now able to look back and appreciate the memories for what they were. Focusing on the now and being excited for what the future may hold. That confidence to walk forward into the future. This confidence takes time to build, and it takes a lot of effort, but it's extremely liberating, and that's what makes moving on worth it.